Throughout the campaign, President Trump repeatedly said he could end the wars in Ukraine and Gaza with blazing speed, even claiming the war in Ukraine would be over before he officially took office. But of course, those conflicts are still happening, and the president has since said he made those comments in jest. Talks between Ukraine and Russia have yet to lead to a permanent ceasefire. And in the Middle East, a temporary ceasefire between Israel and Hamas has fallen apart, even with 59 hostages still in Gaza. Many of them are feared to be dead. CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata joins us now. Charlie, let's start with Ukraine. How would you describe President Trump's approach to this conflict, and how much progress has been made since he was inaugurated?
In terms of his approach, contradictory and unpredictable is how I would probably describe it. He started out, he said that it was more difficult than he'd anticipated. We know he has argued with President Zelensky in that blow up at the White House. He's alienated many European allies in NATO who are crucial to this fight. At first, a lot of people were concerned he was making too many concessions to President Putin. But then it's all changed again. In the past week, he hardened his language against Putin and Russia, especially after the heaviest Russian bombardment that Ukraine's seen in almost a year last week. Having said that, some progress has been made in recent days. President Putin announcing at least a temporary ceasefire next month to mark Victory Day. Positive statements from President Trump after a brief meeting with President Zelensky at the Vatican over the weekend. Maybe even a breakthrough on a minerals deal with Ukraine. And that was after Stephen Witkoff met with Putin. Trump says Ukraine and Russia are very close to a deal. Now, both sides know they need to make concessions. Both know that they've been put on notice by the Secretary of State and others who have said that this week is going to be pivotal. And the threat that the U.S. might walk away is real if those talks collapse. So it has been up and down, to say the least, but we may have turned a corner in positivity. I know there's a real hurry-up offense. We feel it in this building and in other areas. Everybody knows 100 days is coming up. Everybody knows that Trump has prioritized trying to find some end to this conflict, and there may be some light.
Let's look at the situation in Gaza. What's the administration doing to bring peace to the region?
There have been some days that in the early days, it looked like they might have had some sort of breakthrough, right? There was a hope that the initial ceasefire might lead to something more permanent. And talks have been continuing. I checked again on that, largely driven by Egyptian and Qatari mediators. But one of the main sticking points is, as it ever was, Israel is demanding that Hamas completely dismantle and give up rule, and that the release of the 59 hostages that remain there, probably half of them are still alive, would happen without conditions. But Israel's objective from the start of this war was not to defeat Hamas, but the complete destruction of Hamas. Roughly 2,000 people have been killed in Gaza since the ceasefire failed. The United States, largely driven again by envoy Stephen Witkoff, they've been trying to break the negotiating stalemate, but with little success while the war rages. I have to remind people, the death toll currently stands at more than 51,300 people in Gaza. At least 17,000 of those are children, according to Palestinian authorities.
Charlie D'Agata, thank you.